In this video, we'll have a look on how to use a mortgage calculator at 7cows.io/ch, which stands for Switzerland. And let me open it. And let's go with English and open the documentation. So basically in this video, we would follow this documentation. And as you can see, there is a text version of it. So feel free just to read the text if it's more convenient to you. I divided this talk as follows in 4 points. First one is why actually another mortgage calculator. And next point is to have a look at legal and macroeconomic environment for mortgages in Switzerland. Then we'll learn how to parameterize our mortgage calculator. And finally, we'll have a look at some examples. So let's start with an obvious question. So why another mortgage calculator, since almost every bank has one and many platforms as well? From many points, I thought to list these three. So first one is that you can have a direct link to your loan, and then you don't need to retype all the parameters. So once you did the calculation, you can copy the link and send it to your friend, to your financial advisor, or post it to online forum and ask for a second opinion. Next point, your incentives might not be aligned to the bank's incentives. So what are the bank's incentives? It is simply to lend as much credit volume as possible for as long as possible. And your incentives might be to borrow only necessary amount of money and maybe also for a shorter time. And with this mortgage calculator, you can have also more flexibility on how to restructure your mortgage. So, for example, you start with some calculation and then you decide, what if I increase the monthly payment? How much would I owe after 15 years? And you have an answer. Or you might ask, what if I'm fine to be in debt with 1 million? How much can I borrow? And you have an answer. So I would argue you have more flexibility than usual. Let's have a look on legal and macroeconomic environment for mortgages in Switzerland. I thought to put it on kind of graph and to have a look at different characteristics like total duration of a loan, interest rates, real estate prices, amortization, lending criteria. And so Switzerland is a blue line here, and the scale is from 1 to 5. And for comparison, I also put USA and Turkish Republic. So I would argue, of course, it's very subjective, that the interest rates are quite low in Switzerland. The duration is rather long. The lending criteria is rather flexible. The amortization requirements are rather flexible as well. So you don't have to pay down to zero. And the property prices are quite high. If you compare it to USA, you probably say it's kind of similar, more or less. But if you take Turkish Republic, then you see a different pattern. Like interest rates are rather high, but the property prices are much, much lower. Now, let's have a look on legal requirements. So basically, there are two. One is affordability, which means that in a stress scenario of 5% of interest rate, you still need to be able to pay it in the sense that it would constitute at most 1/3 of your household income. And the equity requirement is that you need to bring at least 20% of your own money. Of course, there are quite a lot of details around this criteria, like what about pension fund money, or here the maintenance cost, etc. But the big picture is more or less this one. Now let's have a look how to parameterize our mortgage calculator. So let's assume you want to buy an apartment of 1 million Swiss francs. As of July 2025 is actually not that much. And you're ready to bring 300,000 Swiss francs of your own capital. So here you already see that before you even type the annual income, you need to have at least this amount of annual income to fulfill the affordability criteria. So let's type 150,000, okay, or green. If we go to affordability, it says that loan to value is 70%, which is below the required 80%, and the affordability is below 33%. So remember about this stress scenario 5%. So then overall, so here it's almost 4,000. It has to be below 1/3 of your monthly income, which is slightly above 12,000. So we are green here. For your convenience, you have three repayment modes. So one is a minimal one, so which means you're kind of pay as little as possible, and as a consequence, you would owe still a lot of money at the end of the long term, which actually might make sense if you expect inflation, but if you have different plans, then you might opt for a different repayment strategy. So this one is a stress scenario, just for your convenience, to kind of check what is the calculation for regulatory case. And also you can check what's what's the maximum possible amount of monthly payment, which is this one. And you can see that in this case, even with a maximal payment, you still owe quite some money. And let's also have a look on some optimization. So if you're interested to pay it down to zero, how much time would it take? And the answer is, okay, almost 16 years. But then you may ask, okay, I'm actually fine to pay it a bit longer, but maybe to reduce the monthly payment, how much would I owe? Okay, it's even it's even fine. And yeah, you can also have a look what if I manage to bring down the price of a mortgage, and then respectively you can see the parameters. So you can play with it, and then as usual you can copy the link to this loan. Also here you see the aggregated view, means per year. So in the first year, yeah, actually every year you pay in this scenario 40,000, and this is a split into interest and amortization. If you put here a specific month, like September 2025, then okay, of course, in the first year, since it has only 4 months, you would pay a bit less, but then you would pay this amount, and this is a split of payment into interest rate and amortization. And you can see that actually interest goes down and the amortization part of the payment goes up. And you can also have a look at the monthly basis. So each month you pay this amount, and this is a split into interest and amortization. And you can also download it as a CSV file. Now, let's have a look at some examples. Here we are. So in this example, we have a purchase price of 1.5 million, our own capital of 300,000, and income of 150,000, which is quite similar to the case we had before. Here, I already prepared a link for you to this mortgage, and we see that it's actually not enough. So either you bring down the price of the property to almost 1 million, or you bring significantly more money to the table, or you also earn much more than 150,000. And here's one of the solutions to bring more money to the table, and then we fulfill the affordability. This is it. Thanks for your attention. You can find the links in the video description.